Welcome back. One of the greatest cricketers of all time and arguably only second to great Gary Sobers as an all-rounder. When Proteas legend Jacques Kallis speaks, people listen. The icon, who is in India to be part of the Legend T20 series, spoke exclusively to Times Network on the upcoming T20 World Cup, Virat Kohli's return to form and the luck factor in big tournaments. Listen in.
We are talking about the T20 World Cup, one of the biggest tournaments happening post-COVID in Australia. Of course, India versus South Africa on 30th of October. What are the key battles that you're looking ahead to?
Again, in big games like that, you need to dominate, the important parts. In each game, there are pivotal points that come where you have to play it better than opposition. You need to recognise those. So, hopefully we'll recognise those and play it better than opposition. But you need a bit of luck to go your way in those type of tournaments as well, and in the big games. So, but I know South Africa will be prepared, and it'll be a great game to watch.
And head-to-head, if I talk about India versus South Africa, it is 4-1 in the T20 World Cup tournaments in India's favour. Do you think South Africa possibly can change it this time around, this scorecard?
I hope so. I think given the conditions, probably suits Africa a little bit more with the bouncier wickets. But India has travelled the world and done well, so it'll be a tough side to beat. So, I mean, India going in there, to be fair, is probably one of the favourites. So, not a bad tag to go in as one of the underdogs, even though South Africa's played some real good cricket lately.
But the performance in the T20 format of late hasn't been the best or up to the mark, if we can say, if we talk about the Asia Cup, some of the top cricketers, not performing up to the standards that the people expect them to. Virat Kohli, a case in point. So if I talk about the Indian batting lineup, what do you make of it? We have Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, Virat Kohli at the top.
Yeah, you don't want to peak too early before a tournament, so it's no use playing good cricket, leading up, and you don't play good cricket in the T20. So I'm sure it was finding out combinations and all that, but now the guys will know their roles with the sides being picked. So I can expect the Indian side to be back to where it belongs.
And Jacques, your perspective on Virat Kohli, the player that he has been, and the sort of criticism that he's faced in the last few months for the rough patch that he's gone through. Obviously scored now against Afghanistan, but there's a lot that has been said about Virat Kohli. He's also come out and said that if you mean it, then you say it to me, otherwise it doesn't matter to me. So that sometimes happens when you're playing that amount of cricket at the level that Virat Kohli plays.
Yeah, look, you're always going to go through a little patch when you play as much cricket as what the international players do now. He'll know how to deal with it and what's important to him. I'm sure he isn't listening too much to what's being said about there, as he shouldn't be. He knows what he needs to do, and good players always come through, so it'll be no surprise to me if he has a good tournament.
And any words of advice for the Indian team before they go into the T20 World Cup? We have a lot of young blood as well in Rishabh Pant, a lot of expectations from him as well.
Look, as a team in a World Cup is always going to be under pressure, and the key is how you deal with it. But the team will have strategies and know how to go about and their ways of dealing with it and what they want to do and achieve. The role definition will be really important. But yeah, I suppose it's like any tournament, go out there and enjoy it, and obviously try and do your best and play the key moments better than the opposition.
And there's also going to be a sense of normalcy. We'll have fans in the stadium. The 2 years have been hard for everyone. Slowly and steadily, countries are opening up, stadiums are being filled up. So this is one of the biggest tournaments that's happening in a post-pandemic world, if we can say. So it's going to be exciting for the fans. It
is, yeah, and I think for the players as well. It's not nice playing when there's no atmosphere, so I think the players will be looking forward to it. I know the fans will be looking forward to it.
Without the bio bubble.
Yeah, it was a horrible time to live in. It's nice to be past it now, and we can be back to some sense of normality.
And Jacques, lastly, before I let you go, your top 4 for the World Cup would be?
I'm going to throw South Africa in there because I'm South African. I suppose India's got to be up there as well. England's played some good cricket. And the fourth one's a tough one. Australia being at home, it's tough to perform at home, but they know the conditions. Maybe those 4, but then again, I've learned from World Cups, anything can happen. So I think it's the nice thing about this World Cup. I think it's pretty open. Anyone can come in and win it.